So we are up 2-0 in this series between Tempest and GLuck. They have one more game to win to get out of this studio and go home. They've been pretty dominant with their performances so far, but we will see if their performances continue. Game 2, they had some struggles in team fights, mostly due to just simply being the lack of burst heal with Brightwing.
Yeah, lack of burst heal, and also the synergy. It seemed like Brightwing was just one of the things that just went on the fly. They didn't really prepare. Maybe they did, but they kind of needed that burst heal. That's why the blink heal came in instead of the Emerald Wind. Usually, it's the Emerald Wind is the way to go against Genji all the time, because once that Dragon Blade comes in, I think that's one of the best counter. We saw lots of Brightwing last year because of that too. But
Yeah.
they needed the burst heal. Uther was banned out, of course, I believe, right? On
Yeah.
the second ban. So I think that's the reason why, and they also lost Rhaegar. So Brightwing coming in, that looked kind of weird. Maybe it could be some niche pick in this meta sometimes.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Tempest has been focusing on the globals, so what other globals have we not had? I mean, I guess they haven't done stage dive ETC yet, but like they've pretty much covered everything else at this point. They've been banning the Dahaka away, which has been obviously giving them control of the global. They were unable to do so in the last game. They banned the Tyrael. Instead, Dahaka was given over to the side of GLuck. But I expect that we're probably going to see. Are you getting the sound in your headset as well?
Yes.
All right. I hope you guys
steady.
back at home are not. But we'll see if they continue to take this global approach to whatever map we see for Game 3. Thinking about what maps are left, like Towers of Doom is a map that if Tempest is going to take map pick would be, I think, smart for how they've been playing tonight.
Or even BOE.
Yeah.
I think it's very suitable for them if they want to use bring some Death God for their team. And these mics are very annoying right now. But
Yeah, I'm
still,
hoping you guys don't hear it like we do.
Let's speak softly because.
Okay, let's talk a little bit quieter.
Yes, because I think.
If I talk loud, it goes like that.
Stop laughing!
Oh. I'm hoping you guys don't have the same technical issues at home that we are having right now, but if it is, there's going to be a lot of Mr. Destructoid in the chat.
Whoa! Oh.
Our mics are killing me, man.
Yeah, it's killing our ears right now, but it is the first Volskaya, guys.
Yeah,
everyone
Volskaya.
be ready. Good luck. They have something prepared, and they were laughing during the break. Maybe they were just they knew that this was going to happen. The very first Volskaya game in Korea, it's going to happen in Game 3 between Tempest and GLuck.
All right, well, is it done? Is it fixed? It's fixed.
Maybe? I think so.
All right.
Yes, it is fixed. No, it's not. Never mind.
All right, well, we're working on it, guys.
Is it my headset issue?
No,
or
I think it's both of us. I'm not sure. I checked the chat. Seems like people are having problems with it there too, but we'll get through this together, guys. All right. So, Volskaya Foundry will be this third map. This means that Tempest is going to have to respond to the strategy, the style of GLuck, as we have some game sound issues. We've got some audio issues today, guys. I'm sorry. There we go.
Is it okay now?
Actually, no.
I think it is okay now.
Better. It's better. Anyway.
That's how I feel on the screen. Like, oh, man. Headset problems. Why don't we get the technical issues?
Someone needs to press Control M in game.
Yeah, no chat does need to do that.
Anyway.
Maybe he forgot. We're having all the issues, guys. But
I'm sorry I have audio issues.
But drafts will continue.
All right, so
after ban.
I almost just want to like take my headset off and talk to you, GLuck. Like. All right, so GLuck is looking to lock in a Nazebo ban here. Now, the reason why Nazebo is banned on this map, actually, very high win rate in solo queue at the moment on this map because the objective is considered weak. It's reminiscent of the old Dragonshire before the Dragon Knight was buffed. So Nazebo gets obviously stronger in the late game. He just continues to gain health. And he's a heavily scaling hero. We saw him on Dragonshire in the past for that reason. So basically the idea here with Nazebo is you live forever, you live until the end. The objective takes a long time to actually end the game. And so as a result, like that's why he's just instantly banned. It's a map specific ban. It also allows GLuck to potentially draft Hanzo here if that's what they were preferring to do. So it's kind of it's not like the strongest ban ever by any means, but it is certainly a map-specific ban that is strong. It's like when you ban Abathur on Cursed Hollow or on BOE, where you know, it's just a map that's very strong for that specific hero.
And
So.
it also works very well, you know, because they were having. I thought they were at least going to grab Hanzo, really putting Anubrak higher than Hanzo, even getting Greymane. I think Greymane was the key for the late rotation coming in, because they were always losing that camp timing compared to Tempest when they had Sonya, Hanzo, Greymane all the time to win that control over the macro for game number 1 and 2. They finally got their Greymane. Maybe it's time for them to really start their rotation first instead.
Yeah. So, Uther coming in now with Hanzo, locking in. And that means that both Shimada brothers go to Tempest, actually, which is kind of funny. Very strong team fighting comp with this. Uther can empower Genji. Hanzo is obviously going to be very powerful in terms of poke, and can do very well against the Triglav Protector when it is controlled. So that's one of the reasons why Hanzo is picked.
They also got Uther, so Tempest basically got everything they wanted here. And GLuck, it's kind of a weird situation where they really have to snipe the ban onto the tank or the front line or the solo lane, which in this case there are tons of just open, not really having any hints after ban, maybe hinting that they're not going to do Marthail. So going with the ETC.
Interesting Stukov ban here means that Tempest was worried about sustained healing coming in longer fights around the objective because they chose Uther, and if they don't get burst picks with Genji Hanzo with some of the combos that they could set up, that Stukov would be a problem. So I like this ban. I feel like if GLuck had like a really super secret plan here, like we were going to learn about it right now, but they might just draft standard and they think this is a strong map for them. We're just looking for the solo laner on both sides, and none are banned, so like they can choose amongst a wide variety.
See if they want to go global and grab the Haka once more. Honestly, the Haka play was not too bad.
It's very important to have a solo laner that can push hard on this map, because the big opening win condition is getting a keep, because this map is actually quite large, and the Triglav Projector, if dealt with correctly, which Tempest will, it will actually not end games quickly. And that's partially because you have 2 of your heroes in the Triglav Protector. You know, a Punisher, for example, you still have 5 people pushing with the Punisher. The Triglav Protector, you lose some of that damage.
Still Leoric.
Yep.
And there's Sonya open all the time. I guess they really do not like to play Sonya on their solo lane. Maybe just does not feel comfortable. Sonya Greymane is a great pair along with the dive. I think they could have just completed their dive comp in that way. Leoric's going to be a different factor into their protection in the front line. Greymane, Tassadar. So it's going to be solo damage Greymane with so much tank with double support Tassadar. That's their old favorite when there was open division last, was it October? That's a long time ago, even before BlizzCon. I think this is exactly the comp they liked to play before, when double support was the way to go and lots of Tassadar. They loved Greymane. But that's a long time ago, when they wanted the sustain against all the damage from so much poke and the Dragon Blade with Uther now. Can they sustain that damage with double support? Let's see.
Sonya's going to get locked in here with the Tyrael, so this comp is designed around Genji Dragon Blades doing a lot of damage. That is what this comp is all about. Sonya surviving, sustaining through the solo DPS of Greymane, having the sanctification to keep her health pool high, whirlwinding in against this heavy melee comp that's got the Greymane in the front line when he dives in. Sonya's there to peel, Uther's there to peel, Tyrael's got the sank. Is this going to be some sort of crazy support pick, the Volskaya exclusive? I don't think so. This might even become just a Lucio pick or a Rhaegar that we've seen so many times already for the Greymane. Rhaegar, the second best pick here, the best pick would have been Uther, I think, given the composition. And since they're doing double support, wow. I don't know about that. Since they're doing double support, I think the Rhaegar makes the most sense, but Malfurion, he can, if his roots are really well placed, he can.
He's okay with providing some CC. With the long sustain, I think they're looking for that long sustain, super long team fight. When Tempest, they have all the tools to burst it down. Let's see how good the Sanctification, and they can block the Sanctification from happening. I think the Cocoon will be key, trapping that Tyrael down before the team fight happens. Let's see if GLuck can get all their tools together to break down the team of Tempest, where they're down 0-2 right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man, to make this comp work. I feel it's a comp that's uninspiring to me. It's an older comp where you have double support Greymane, but you've got Malfurion, who has no burst heals. Tastar, who only has temporary shielding, no burst heals, no heals at all to speak of, unless Greymane's able to do that damage. Versus Dragon Blades that are gonna come through. Like, how will Greymane survive? How will Nubarak survive when the damage is coming through, when Dami's popping out his Dragon Blade and Lockdown's hitting those stuns? That's a question I don't know if GLuck has the answer to. So we will see how this all pans out once we do in fact have these first fights over the control points. Obviously there is some cooldown reduction and stuff like that that Malfurion can put into play, but I just feel like those are non-factors in terms of trade-off versus Rhaegar. Like, I think Rhaegar would have been the much stronger pick to burst heal, and then empower Greymane if you're going to double support. If they weren't going to double support, Stukov would have been the best choice for winning the sustain battle, but that was banned, right? That's why Tempest banned it. And I think they might have changed their minds on what they wanted to do right after that moment. We'll see. Point A, of course, going to start in the mid lane.
Usually what you do with a Tastar, you bring out, of course, Vala's an old story, but just to bring out that old one, Vala, Tracer. Those range DPS used to be the way to go with Tastar. Does not pair up with perfectly, but I guess the shield is coming in because there's no more burst heal from Malfurion at all. To keep that sustain on, you need that shield to kind of act in as a burst heal for Greymane, providing that some timing for him to go in. And Radlik is a pretty good Greymane. He wants to go dive. He looks for that kill. Pretty awesome in the team fight. So I think they can have the trust.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to be said for this type of style. And with the shield, it helps him survive long enough to get that long sustained heal from Malfurion. That's obviously, as you can see here, just it's a huge heal. It just takes a long time to get there. Right. So the shield will buy you some time. Absolutely. And Greymane does have a larger health pool than heroes like Vala, for example. So, you know, that overtime healing will kick in more for him. It's going to be really good for Leoric and Nubarak. Having a tanky top laner really makes sense in this case. It can actually serve as bottom lane this time while they do the 1-3-1 where they roam around and take camps. Meanwhile, Sonya is kind of trying to figure out how to match up with Leoric here. It's going to finally come down to the bot lane. 3-man's going to be at the top. It's going to have a lot of swapping going on. We haven't seen any pro games of Full Sky yet, so we don't know the rotations yet.
Only that long game from NA once.
Oh yeah, I mean Korea.
In Korea.
Yeah. Well, that's why in the Zebo ban, right? 'Cause it's like, well, it isn't a long game. This is going to be a long game probably, guys. Even with Tempest versus GLuck. Like, this, you know, go get a soda or something, because this one could take a little while.
You really like soda and brushing your teeth.
Man, brush your teeth, man, if you need to do that, because you got to go to bed, or, you know, you're going to go to bed after this. Like, might as well brush your teeth during the commercial break. That's what I'm saying.
And then wake up when you use back on.
Yeah.
Oh, you can already see from all the rotation from GLuck. Like, they have their comfort picks. They have their comfort heroes. They're already on top of all the camp timing. They were actually ahead of Tempest for a few seconds.
That deflect that we just saw from Dami, like while the cocktail was in the air to block that damage, was like, that was nice. Okay, Dami is afraid of nothing, by the way. Like, oh my god, this invades hardcore. Then you know what? I think it's gonna work.
As a damaging tool, Tastar does go out. The HP bars of GLuck is going all the way down the Milky Way. May not survive.
Stun's coming through here into Saron as well. They really want this.
Relic though, he's looking for those kills. Does not have go for the throw for the extra kill, but oh man, Tyrael's trait in work.
Yep. I mean, if you want to really fight for this, then what happens? He just immediately uses the heal gains to to heal the team up after. It's kind of ironic how that worked out. Obviously, control point A should go to Tempest now, as is going to be good locking that in.
That's what I call trait value right there.
Yeah, that is definitely trait value. It was a zoning trait, you know, but they didn't get off, so it was painful. All right, well, 31% of this. GLuck's all respawn, ready to re-engage. They're going to have 7, so they're not going to have a talent disadvantage if they want to engage onto this. Their camp timings were good. They were very much confident they could have that camp, even though Tempest invaded. And it's the second team fight that GLuck has lost in such a fashion. Oh my god. That like only happens to me when I play Lyric and solo queue and I miss my Drain Hope that one time and I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna die. Got away. End of the day.
Yep, until that fight, I think GLuck is going way too aggressive. I think that one, they could have contested for it, maybe if they were not really gathered too closely. Not really looking for that CC was great from Alperian. Healing over time was okay with that sustain.
Let's see who gets in the Tree Glove. Sign,
I
and...
think he's just gonna... Oh, also Hanzo.
Okay. So that way they still have, like, Uther for heals while they're doing this, and... What you want to do is micro, obviously, in and out of the Tree Glove Protector if you can as DPS, so you can get some extra damage and then just jump right back in the Tree Glove. You can't have your driver jump out, obviously, because that doesn't make sense, but the DPS can actually kind of jump in and out, as you can see there, but...
Actually buying a lot of time here. While
I mean,
Sonya
look,
is pushing bottom.
We talked about how the Tree Glove Protector is actually super weak, and like this objective is one of the weakest in the game, period. Like, but I mean,
well, late game not as weak, but the actually till first third one.
like,
Not really
at least
too
they're
much
like
damage.
making it last longer, I guess, than, you know, like it was really low, but they got the last part of the wall down with this. Okay, they're just gonna jump out here. Lockdown's gonna look to do some extra damage, maybe. That just drops the Sonic Arrow.
And that's going to be timed with the turret down on the bottom lane. I think they bought so much time with that. GLuck actually took a pretty long time because they were driving in and out, harassing the wall in the mid lane. It feels like GLuck did not really know what to do in terms of putting their resources in which lanes. Maybe just Lyric was just not enough because Sonya was helped by Uther the entire time.
Yeah, so, holding on to that Dragon Strike. So, we'll see if he maybe locks it in. And I'm trying to think of what it could pair with. Like, we didn't see... he locked it in. We didn't see Divine Storm, so that could have been one way. It... well...
Are you trying to think of a way that it makes
yeah,
sense?
no, I am trying.
I think it's a good zoning tool actually though. For GLuck, their backline Mafirian has to come nearby if they want to go. If the Twilight Dream is the way that he has to come close, and zoning tool even for Greymane has to be away a little bit.
So,
of course, it's not when there's lack of CC. Dragon Zero is the way to go.
yeah,
but I think
they
this
have
is
a lot
one
of
of
CC.
an unusual case here. Let's see what they're looking for.
They have a lot of CC with Ancient Spear and obviously Uther. Later on they'll have Holy Ground. This is going to go to late game. Well, we will see Holy Ground at 16, not 13. It's not the rework. Can't believe they made that. They made Tyrell even stronger. We're going to see a potential invade here. Cleanse comes out. This is what we're talking about. The cleanses have to be good for this to work against Malfurion. So that's one of the reasons why Malfurion is strong here and was considered one of the soft counters to Genji back in the day. But, you know, cleanse was good. They didn't commit to the invade because obviously they struggled to get it. So there's been like a game where obviously one of the other reasons why this map goes long is because Merc camps are more of a like utility kind of thing than a pushing thing. So obviously the siege camp, they want to time it because it's like that's the only push you're going to get. So, you know, even if you have a macro advantage or you have a small lead in the game, like you don't really end up pushing super hard.
Because of that, actually, GLuck, except for the top camp fight, they really lost really hard from the beginning. I think they're holding on to the level, not really too much of an EXP gap in between two teams. They caught up the talents now, hitting 13 very soon. And compared to all other games, I think this is the map for them to catch up. And if they have one good team fight, they can push all the way later on in the game. I think that's the strategy that they were looking for.
Yeah, looks like that. I mean, they realized, I think, probably last game, like, you know what, we can actually out-team fight this team. And this is a game where macro doesn't matter as much, camp timings and things like that don't matter as much. I mean, you can see Tempest is holding all the turrets, and they have the siege camp. Like, they are controlling the the camps, but controlling the camps gives you a turret. It doesn't give you 2 dead cannon towers.
Malfurion's still holding level 10. Of course, N13. Tranquility, maybe? But against so much burst damage from the other side, I think Twilight Dream is a better one.
I mean, we talked about the sustain and like how it can last longer, but like Tranquility is still like very much the same type of heal as his Q is, and it's not going to save against Dragon Blade, whereas a huge Twilight Dream could silence Genji, could silence the Uther, prevent him from Divine Shielding the Genji, something like that. So I think that Twilight Dream is much better in this scenario. So, you know, overtime's going to tick down here. It ticks down much slower than it does in Overwatch, I'll tell you that. Another Triglav will go over to Tempest. Going to be Tyrael piloting again, and it looks like Lockdown will probably jump in for damage. Nope, it's going to be Dami this time.
The second one, going to do a little bit more. It's going to take a longer time for them to actually versus Sam, because the thing is, GLuck does not have too much poke. And also, let's see if they want to engage on this, the backline. They realize it instantly. Sharp eyes.
Okay, Triglav Protector retreating here. They got the wall. And sadly, guys, on this map, like, that's about all you're going to get usually at this stage of the game. There's a lot of factors to this, but let's see if they can just kind of help push these lanes. Like, it forces GLuck to kind of respond. But as you can see, like, not really. Like, they don't have to have 5 here. The base is hoping GLuck makes a mistake. This could be that mistake. There's the stun. Tranquility! Been a long time! Dragon Strike, not really all that effective in this scenario, but they do toss it out. They're trying to get some damage onto this fort. Good deflect here. Nice dodge on Milky Way's Impale. And that's it. That's the end of the second objective.
Yep, they're just pushing in slowly, because if they overcommit without the Sonya, even when Sonya went in, they didn't have all 5 members, I believe. So if they overcommit, even GLuck on the same level now. They're not. Tempest is not leading this anyhow. Cleanse onto Dami so he can escape. So they're being cautious. They don't want to lose. They actually want to have close to perfect games against the weaker team. Of course, they don't want to. Of course, Black is watching in the venue.
That's right. I want to get outclassed by Black. If Black gets a 3-0 later against Feliz. Okay, this fort is finally going to do that. I think Tempest just realized at some point, well, like, we have these turrets we've been gathering. Like, let's use these and, like,
just can't hold 2 anymore.
Like, let's just force the fort down. Like, we have poke, we have a comp that can dive. Like, we can actually, we know that they only have Greymane, right? That's basically it. And he went into Wolfheart, which is interesting. Didn't go full cocktail, so he's going to, you know, what I'm trying to say here is Tempest is like, look, I'm going to poke this a lot. I have Hanzo, I have Genji. If you try to dive on us, we have Sank. You can't really dive on us because you went, you know, you went for solo DPS Greymane, and sure, he has the Tassar support, but it's Malfurion with him. They didn't get Twilight Dreams, so, like, I think Tempest is starting to realize, okay, let's just control the camps. Let's just push down these forts. Like, they're going to do it again. They're 4-man grouping here, stopping Leoric from doing split push, so they're trying to get as much damage done to this fort as they can, then systematically move away from it. And just rotate kind of as 4 between the lanes. The Orc has come up, though. So Saron is ready to potentially punish this type of play. Although they don't do it, and so therefore Sonya is getting a little bit more soak in the bot lane.
And Sonya is never going to lose. Well, almost. There's very, 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 very low chance of losing against only one Leoric in the lane. So they can just contest that all the way. And this fort is not even damaged in the bottom.
I do like, actually, Regen Master, given that this map goes really long. Now, Anubarak actually has more health and more regen, and that's going to scale well into the late game. So I like that a lot, actually. Kind of rare pick. We don't see that very often, but it's completed now, as is the Ghanaian Cocktail upgrade here. So more poke damage on a shorter cooldown.
Well, let's see. Tempest is controlling all the turrets. Rally holds 1. So we might have some interesting fights on the conveyor belt, trying to chunk down the damage.
Yeah, Saron was like staying there for a long time for some reason.
We got even more damage for no reason.
Just wants to have the more damage taken stat in the tab screen. He wants to have his flashing.
Yes, but more damage for the other team though.
Yeah.
Let's see where they want to put down the turrets. It's going to go around on the belt.
This gets so weird. All right, well, this fight is started already. Cyan's trying to zone out with Holy Ground here, the support of Overlord, and they're just poking as they can here with Hanzo and Genji. All right.
Use a turret as their teammate in a way.
Yep.
Team fight.
Good use of protection there from Dami, but the Transcendence is going to heal up here. Not Transcendence, Tranquility. Wrong game. We are on Volskaya, but healing up a bit. Turret's doing a lot of extra damage, though. Dragon Blade still available. Doesn't look like it's necessarily needed here. There it comes. Good stuns here. Oh, look at these blades. And there's the Sank. This is insane damage coming out from Dami. And this is going to be a one fight for Tempest. We should probably just grab control of that control point.
Those scatter arrows and Lockdown, meanwhile, has been doing all that poking from the side, from the back. If they trap down Sonya, that's their time to go in for the kill. But there's a Divine Shield if they're going for a single target. And if that's all nullified by a single heroic by Uther, then what is GLuck doing? What are they trying to do? That's gonna be a question that they have to answer within the next few minutes here.
Good is dancing on the.
That's the best picture-in-picture we've seen ever.
Yep. We have the technology. So, Tempest's gonna hit 20 here, and I mean, the Triglav, like, it doesn't. I don't know about good dancing there. Like, it's actually a little bit weird, but. He could definitely be doing a lot more for his team at the moment. Either way, the Triglav Protector is going to be active in a moment. I don't know how they're going to use it. They might try to guarantee the keep at bot, but I don't think that they can necessarily get it, because, as has mentioned before, the Triglav Protector in pro play is like quite weak. It's just going to be Tyrael in there for now as they do rotate over, trying to make sure it stays as far back as possible so it doesn't get you know, like chunked down, basically poked down by Greymane here, who did get the Wolfheart at level 1.
The Yorick has been pushing the top lane, so it does help.
They have
the
20.
EXP a little bit, but it's still a long way to go for GLuck to hit 20.
Yeah. So Triglav is just going to be, Sonya's just trying to do some extra damage. That Dragon Strike, like, was cast, I guess.
Was this cast?
It was cast. He used
no
it.
damage.
Okay, they are just going to guarantee this keep. Tempest just walking forward here.
And with some damage, Hanzo can actually use that again very soon.
Yep. Be able to pop out and drop it down in a second. Looks like they're just not willing to continue to fight. There's no reason.
One by one, one fort at a time, one keep at a time. Tempest is taking this one slowly because they are not risking it. Of course, GLuck does have the damage. They can actually turn things around. We saw that with the last team fight somewhat. But really holding that key, Sanctification.
It says a lot about, you know, because we know this game is going to continue to be a longer one, but still, obviously, Tempest is going to open up one of the doors to victory here with this keep. It says a lot about Hyde's playstyle and what they want to do with this comp, that he took Bulwark instead of the Redemption at level 20, because it means that they still just want Dami to carry every fight. They believe in him, they trust him. This goes back to 2016 Tempest, right? This kind of play style of having Dami be the carry, a melee carry in these fights. In this case, going to be the Dragon Blades when he goes in, that they will try to protect. Cyan looking for a Holy Ground grab will get punished a little bit. Milky Way ever patient, looking for an opportunity.
Spotted from the side, the Sonic arrow by Lockdown. They hit 20, they're looking for that angle to grab that into, possibly maybe Sonya or Uther, because Genji Hanzo can just go over with the D button. Let's see which target they want to grab with Leoric. They're fighting over this camp once more.
They want the healing pulse.
The heal pack, one of the best
Okay,
ones
here comes let the dragon consume you. Like, well, not really.
Did not consume anything, but
the dragon consume you.
I told you this is as a zoning tool. That's all.
Milky Way's like, oh man, it almost went through my Tassadar shield. Yeah, we've seen a lot of zoning ults in Overwatch, and we put the Overwatch ult into a heroic in Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, there's the holy ground. Sign just alone taking that away from GLuck.
Yep, stolen. It doesn't really do much in this moment. It's just going to be cleared, but Tempest is just gaining ground right now and doing slow chip damage to these structures over time. Going to go ahead and grab a fort on their way out, casually. Dragon Strike's back up, by the way. Felt the need to mention.
Yes.
So it could make a huge factor in these.
It's bigger
in
than
this next fight. Look, we saw one good Dragon Strike, right? It was like on Reddit, kind of. Not as much as the failed one, but like there was a good one. It was posted by a Korean poster as well on Reddit. It was, I saw it. It was like pretty alright, but right now, you know, not so much in this game. It has been interesting to zone. So next point is going to be point A, obviously in the center again. GLuck, even if they win the Tree Glove Protector, because they have a double support comp, it's like really weird who's going to go in it, and like what will they be able to accomplish? I don't know. Like GLuck's going to have to win like a lot of Tree Glove Protectors in order to come back in this game. And I almost feel like for them it's not even worth trying to fight heavily for it, because if they get wiped, they lose. The keep is down. Like they have to play passively. I feel like they will just play passively. Tempest will control this, and we're going to just watch Tempest like slowly win the game is how it looks like the rest of this game is going to play out. And I'm not sure what GLuck's game plan is. Just pushing the waves back right now. I'm going to be, you know, getting some experience like to try to stay even on scaling, but they're 4% behind at the moment on average with these heroes. Will we see the Sonya dance on the control point this time is the question everyone wants to know the answer to.
Maybe if you are watching the POV of Good, maybe you would know.
The question, yeah, did you type dance in English or in Korean? Like,
actually coming to contest.
that's a huge stun. Yeah.
With the pair up CC, that's going to be a nice one if they have Twilight Dream, but that's not the factor right now.
Oh, that Dragon Strike did a little bit of damage. There's the Sanctification. I take back the damage part. Already Hanzo getting the pick here onto Tassadar. Stun onto Sign now. He has the ability to Aldruin's away. It's a pick onto Malfurion, and this might be the fight that I suggested they might not want to take, because with this fight, they will get wiped as Dami just flies around with his upgraded Dragon Blade here, and that is going to be the wipe. That is the game, set, and match here. Tempest will take this one 3-0. We never really got to learn what GLuck wanted to do in this 21-minute game on Volskaya Foundry. We may never know what their original plan was, but it simply was not a success. Tempest will close this one out. The turret fires away. The catapult minions are abound, and that is going to be a 3-0 victory here for Tempest.
Well, with that team comp, I don't know what they're really trying to accomplish with the Leoric. Seems like they want to play Leoric a lot against Sonya, but in terms of team fights and rotation, it's not much of a big deal when you cannot. At least I thought we were going to see Twilight Dream because of that Entomb. That last fight, if they had that silence, big AoE silence on multiple targets, also it's a big damaging tool. If they had that, maybe that could have got few kills at least, delayed the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Tranquility against the burst damage of all the Sanctification, the protective tools, then the Dragon Blade and the Dragon Strike, that too.
There's sometimes we talk about stuff like this where like you watch a team play this type of strategy on an unusual map and the picks are weird and they pick Tranquility and you know, we always wonder like what's the plan, and sometimes you see it. Sometimes we are like, okay, I see the proof of concept in this. Sometimes you watch it and you just realize, okay, this was the idea, this was the plan. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but at least sometimes we walk away and go, yeah, I see what they were trying to do there. This was not one of those times, unfortunately, I feel. One of these, this draft I looked at, I think after Stuvkov was gone, they were like, well, we just need like slow, sustained healing. So go Malfurion, then we'll go Tranquility. That's like more slow, sustained healing, win the longer fights. But unfortunately, they're playing against the damage coming out from Dragon Blade, and they put everything into the Dragon Blade. That went Bulwarks at 20 to protect the Dragon Blade, and Dami was just, he was pressing R a lot, he was pressing Q a lot, he was doing a lot of damage, man.
Well, that was... From I really feel like they really have to work on their hero pool. Hero pool, first of all, from the solo lane. When Sonya's open, they never take it. When Sonya's until the patch hits, I think Sonya will be coming up so much more until the next set of patches with the tier rework and the Sonya nerf. Until that comes in, Sonya will be still in top tier, at least in the first or 8th tier. And really not picking that Sonya at all. I think that really puts your entire team down as a solo laner. If that's worked on, your rotation will be a lot stronger. Your team fight potential will be a lot more bursty damage, really following the meta. And also taking that away from the other team can be helpful. I think they need to really start working that on. Maybe after that point, maybe they can contest against Tempest, and maybe next time after the Eastern Clash.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot to be improved on, sure, but we're still early on in the season, so... and they played against Tempest, who defeated KSV Black already. Got a pretty good record going for themselves. I think just let's watch the evolution. I think we can be a little bit harsher in a few weeks' time. there was some nitpicky things we could talk about today, like proof of concept not there, I think, in this draft. And I feel like if I went and talked to them right now and asked them what the point was, they would either tell me something that I could not agree with or believe, or say it was all messed up, like this was never our plan, like I don't know, it was on the fly, it was not good. But we could pick on that. We could pick on some of the individual plays of Relic, you know, in terms of his failed gank attempts and things like that. Although in team fights he was fantastic. Blue Beetle in team fights was fantastic. But there's something missing. I think it's in the decision making, and that comes with experience. That comes with time. And as you were talking about, they dominated the Open Division. They played their comfort picks throughout the entire season. So when they came into the Big Boys League in the Pro League here, they, you know, I think that there's still like a feeling of a gap that hasn't fully been realized for this team yet.
Yep, they have been really not transitioning into the newer meta, still back in the old one. Not, of course, they got their comfort pick. It seemed like they were doing okay at game number 3, but after that, the team fight potential was just not there. And I think they really have to think it through. Starting from the draft, they were losing in draft most of the time. Let's see where they go next time. But today, it's going to be 0-3.
That's right. GLuck, we might get to see that false stat highlight that we were talking about in game 1.
Against Genji?
Yeah, we might get to see that. By the way, it's not the epic by false stat. It's interesting. If you missed game 1, you guys might be in for a treat. We go into these highlights and then, oh, they thought we were going straight to him. Not, in fact, the case, but we're going to them very shortly. And then an interview with our MVP. Who would you choose as MVP if you got to choose?
From Tempest? Lockdown did play false stat. That was great, but...
For me, it has to be Dami. After those Dragon Blades in the final game, made the Genji pick worth it.
But Lockdown with the Dragon Strike also. Hanzo was pretty OP, you know?
At least we could ask some questions. Like, we could ask some questions. This one is not as funny as the last one because, like, last time we knew it was bad and then we tried to hype it. You and I did the whole, you know.
Yeah, Dragon Strike.
And then this time it was just like, well, yeah, that Dragon Blade, like, oh, they were all stuck there by the Holy Grail, but it hit them a lot, but they still didn't take damage. That's unfortunate. Yeah. I don't know, man. The Dragon Strike, I think it's doesn't really have a place at the moment, sadly. Not touched in the patch notes either. Hanzo's damage like nerfed by like 2, but no Dragon Strike buff. Oh well.
Dragon Strike, maybe we'll get to see even more.
All right, this was the fight that lost the game 1 for them at 2 minutes into the game, where they stayed here. Look at Leoric. He's not even mounted. He's E-ing in.
E-ing in.
He's wraith walking in. Okay, Overlord's off the point. Squishy. Saron's the last one to die. He arrived last. He dies last. Trait value, Kappa. This is another fight with the really good disengaging Gust we talked about a lot from Lockdown throughout games 1 and 2. Well, 2 was banned, obviously, but it would have liked to do in game 2.
Notice Rhaegar was in that cocoon the entire time of that team fight, and still that Sonya managed to go out.
Good whirlwind healing. Not enough splitting on the side of GLuck. Oh, sadly not the false stat solo kill. Oh, this was just like a tragedy. The base, I don't even know what to call this, like invading in the proxy between the the forts and stuff during Curse, just systematically killing everybody.
That happened once before, even before the Curse.
This is the death metal moment where Milky Way comes and locks in death metal, dies before Ancestral, but still gets a death metal, and it's a good fight, theoretically.
Almost does something, but gets caught by the boss stun, and then that's the end of the life of Genji.
I'm like, no, Volskaya Foundry. God. So this fight, we saw the entomb on the sign, and sign just sanks and was like, well, it was cute that you guys tried to entomb me, but I win this fight, and then we win the game. And see you guys next round robin.
The Worms just passed by. They're still holding that Divine Shield. Uther was holding that the entire time and just using it right after the blade comes out. Everything in control.
He's like, I wish this blade did more damage. I have to swing it like 12 times to kill them. We're going to actually have an interview with Sign again. And it is going to be O Prime to ask him the questions and GLuck to tell you what they're saying.
Hello, Sign. Congrats on your win, of course.
Crowd just cheering. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
How do you feel after your win today?
KSV 블랙에 비해서는 좀 약팀일 수 있지만 모든 팀들이 다 강하다고 생각해서 많이 준비하고 왔는데
I think compared to KSP Black, I think they're a weaker team, but all teams are very strong. So we did prepare a lot, and we did what we just did what we did best. Oh, game 2, of course, we have to talk about the Cursed Hollow. Compared to game number 1, you guys seemed a little bit weaker. How did you? How was it against GLuck in game number 2? Just talk us throughout the game.
실제로 게임도 중반까지는 저희가 다 좀 압도하는 경기대로.
In game 2 until the midpoint, I think we were
그냥 간간히 조금씩 실수를 했던 거
ahead. I think, but small mistakes from individual decision making.
잘하신 건데 그거는 이제 딱 들어오실 때.
And also, GLuck really had their team fight positioning really well later on.
저희가 잘했다기보단 상대 실수가 있었기 때문에 이긴 한탄데.
And also at the very late, I think not that we did great. I think they made some mistakes in their positioning and some skill timing also. I think that's why we were able to bring that game back and win game number 2.
나 이거 작살 너무 못 맞춰서 사인 형한테 혼날 것 같다. 얘기를 했었는데.
And we were also having a chat during the break that could actually missed lots of spears.
아 근데 그게 상당히 날조된 부분이 저희 팀 우선 선수 중에 구단주 분이 계세요.
Of course, we have a team manager, a team owner.
이게 저에 대한 그런 얘기는 이제 제가 개인 방송을 할 때 채팅방에 메리데이 선수가 잠깐 와가지고 전 선수가
Of course, lots of time when I'm streaming on Twitch.
그게 좀 터진 것 같은데 이제 팬분들이 이제 그만큼 템페스트
Meridday comes around and makes lots of jokes, and I think the fans took it seriously in that way. But I don't really talk down on the players at all. I respect them a lot.
그런 거는 아니다라는 거를 말씀해 주신 거고요. 그리고 세 번째 세트에서 볼스카야가 나왔어요.
And let's talk about Volskaya for the first time.
어떤 느낌이었나요?
How was it playing Volskaya at Foundry today?
이거 연습을 했나?
We didn't really think of Volskaya at all, and going in thinking, did they really practice? And we could kind of tell that they had the rotation down. They practiced a lot. But we don't really like to play Volskaya too much, even in Hero League. But we just went around safely and thought we could just win if we do just as usual.
근데 이제 상대 팀들이 거절하는 편이에요. 보통 스크림을 하자고 하면은.
Well, even when we scrim, we do play Volskaya sometimes, but it's not one of the preferred maps for us.
우선 처음에 생각했던 거는 볼스카야 로봇이 충분히 강하다고 생각을 했어요.
I think the protector is actually very strong.
오늘 대회에서 해보니까.
But actually using it in tournament, it wasn't really doing too much at the beginning of the game.
네, 그리고
So I think at the beginning, I think it's actually worthwhile taking it somewhat. And do you want to give your last word to your fans out there and also in the audience? I think a lot more people are rooting for us because we were able to have that strong defeat against KSP Black since the opening day. And we do feel that a lot, do feel the energy. So we're going to try even harder with that to have better performances, really do well in the season.
Very humble words from Sign in some ways, but I think in other ways basically saying, like, you know, yeah, like we actually are in good form right now. This is a good roster for us, and I appreciate kind of his honesty and his respect of GLuck there, you know, on both hands. So strong preparation, honesty about Volskaya, you know, being like, I guess they practiced something here maybe, but didn't really see it. Kind of like what we were saying. So see if we see any more Volskaya the rest of the tournament. I was confident. I was literally going to say earlier when we were talking about the map bans about it was BLPL, but we'll never see Volskaya ever. Like, it would not happen in this whole first phase, and then I would have been wrong. We had the bans on Braxis and Dragonshire, so GLuck was the one that left it open.
Yep, that's right.
And so, you know, whenever that happens, there's always the suspicion that they could pick something. They tried it, it didn't work.
Yep, with the Nazebo ban, I thought they had something crazy special, like maybe Medivh or some kind of crazy wombo combo happening, like themselves bringing Jaina and having that burst against Tempest. I thought it could actually work happening, but seemed like it was not really too much practice, so maybe they were holding in for the next time.
You know when the Triglav Protector shoots that shot on the ground that like explodes after a second? Yeah. I don't know exactly what that's called, but I don't know if it even has an official name, but it shoots a laser on the ground that explodes, right? Like, what if you did a ley line seal combo into that? Because it does like a little bit of damage. Like, I'm being facetious, but like, Leyline Seal will make people get hit by that because like that thing's like it's like really slow. It goes on the ground, then it's like, hey, like don't stand here by the way.
Well,
And then it
Leyline
explodes.
Seal plus Dragon Strike was the best one from what we can tell, and everyone knows now that was the combo.
Yeah. Also, I was like, imagine if the Tree God Protector could take Medivh portals. Like, still wouldn't.
Medivh
still
portals
wouldn't
actually
be broken.
okay. If you put that on the belt, it actually moves around.
Yeah.
So it's actually a good way of using it, but they didn't use it this time. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time, guys. But that is going to do it for our first series. Our second series of the night will be coming up after this short break. See you then.